Welcome to Reborn Again, a space for truth, healing, and new beginnings. This is the podcast that reminds you it's never too late to start over. Together, we'll explore the beauty of transformation, awaken to love, and discover the light within. I'm Karen Laura Mark, and this is your journey of awakening. Let's step into the truth together.
Welcome back, beautiful soul, to another episode here in Reborn Again. Today, we are going to go so deep, really deep. This one is one of those conversations that might feel extremely uncomfortable for some of you. I just want to pre-warn you before we dive into this episode. But this episode is also one of those episodes that can truly set you free, set us free. Today I want to talk about the word narcissist. Oof, I feel already that this word has a lot of stories to it. This word is thrown around all over social media, around us, in our society. And don't you agree that this word has some weight to it, right? And trust me, I used to throw that word around all the time. Really, anytime I felt hurt, unseen, manipulated, and I mean like truly manipulated, I would say to myself within my head, they are narcissists. Because of what I've learned by our society. And for a while, I'm gonna be honest, it felt good. It gave me a sense of clarity, almost like, okay, they are the problem and I'm not, so I'm fine. But eventually, I truly had to ask myself, why am I doing this? And what I discovered was very humbling. Calling someone a narcissist, it almost became a shield. It was my way of staying in the story of being a victim. Instead of doing the deeper work of looking at myself, my wounds, and my healing. This isn't about excusing harmful behavior. I just want to make that extremely clear. People do act manipulative or hurtful ways, and boundaries are sacred. But what I've learned is this. When I make my identity about being hurt, quote unquote hurt, by narcissists, I don't actually heal. I don't grow. I stay stuck. I don't know how it is for you, but that's what it's been like for me. And if you relate to this, I just advise you to keep listening. And maybe you will relate to my story. And I'll also share how you can get out of this. So today we're going to unmask the victim narrative, explore the role of the ego and the mind, and then go deeper. I think you know me by now, right? And we're going to go deeper into a word that is also a little unpopular when we are hurting and we have a lot of pain, and that's accountability. We're going to really own our pain, our love, and our light. And I want to bring in the wisdom of the great teachers, Jesus. We're also going to explore Ram Dass and Eckhart Tolle. because their voices in different ways all point to the same perspectives, the same truth. And I truly feel so aligned with this. Jesus speaks about it all the time. Love sets us free. So, what do you say? Should we dive deeper? Yes, let's go. And I'll start with honesty, okay? This is my personal story, and I'm going to be extremely vulnerable with you. For years, my story was I keep attracting, quote unquote, narcissists. Why me? Why me? Every time I told it, I just felt validated, but I also felt trapped because nothing was changing. Then one day I asked myself, what if this isn't about them? What if this is about me? Oof, I can just feel my ego is like twisting within my body. That was hard. My ego resisted it, but my soul was doing backflips. It was like something within me was like, now we're talking, now we're growing. And the truth was, the story I kept telling myself that I was just unlucky, I wasn't just unlucky. I was repeating a pattern. On some level, I was drawn to relationships where my wounds, quote unquote, my pain, felt familiar. And familiar felt safer than facing the unknown, even if it hurt. And oh, it hurt. It hurt so much. That's when I realized maybe the lesson wasn't about labeling others. Maybe the lesson was about finally listening to myself. Listening to the part of me that craved love so much that I would accept breadcrumbs instead of listening to myself. I needed to listening to the part of me that believed, and I just want to say that out loud, believed, if I can fix them, maybe I'll finally feel worthy. You know that role that you have to rescue someone in order to feel worthy? Oof, I've been there. And I do not judge myself for have been here. To be honest, I am grateful that I can see it. And if I kept attracting the same kind of relationship, maybe that wasn't punishment. Maybe it was a wake-up call, an invitation to rise. For many, many years, I was in a relationship that the world will label extremely toxic. And for me, that relationship was a wake-up call. The wounds, the childhood trauma, the pain, everything was there in the middle, all the time. Just imagining two grown-ups, and I'll quote-unquote say grown-ups because we were in grown-up bodies, but it was like two little inner childs standing in front of each other every single day, mirroring each other's pain, projecting the pain onto each other all the time. All the time. And little to nothing, I would say, accountability was in the picture. So it took me some time to grow out of that. It took me some time to actually look within myself and say, stop. This needs to stop. I need to look within myself and start taking accountability. And that, my friend, is where everything started to change. So I want to take a moment right now to reflect upon something with you, okay? I want you to notice yourself if you're telling yourself the story, I always attract narcissists, or why do I always end up hurt like this? Do you tell yourself those questions inside of you? If you do, what feelings come up when you repeat that story? Just take a moment and just feel within yourself. And here's the deeper one, okay? What part of you benefits from keeping that story alive? This is accountability at its deepest form. I know. This one is like you're like, okay, I'm owning it now. I am really owning it. I can't point any fingers at anybody else. I just kind of have to own it, right? And you can pause this episode right now and journal, or just breathe with it, okay? There's no wrong answer here. And I want to make that very clear. There is no wrong answer. Just honesty, my friend. Okay? And this is where my shift began, okay? And maybe it can begin yours as well, right here today. Instead of saying they're a narcissist, I started asking, what is mine to own here? What boundaries did I ignore? Where was I abandoning myself? What story was I repeating from my past? When I turned inward, I didn't blame myself. I loved myself enough to tell the truth. That's accountability. We need to tell ourselves the truth. And accountability, I realized, truly is the highest form of self-respect. Because when you live from that place, you stop waiting for others to change. You reclaim your light. You reclaim your freedom. Because if you keep repeating the same story, you keep seeing the same thing, you keep seeing the same patterns, and you keep feeling the same thing, you need to go back to yourself. What story are you repeating? And is that really true? We have to go back to ourselves and ask ourselves, am I giving away my power? And here's the other layer to it. Let's go. We're gonna rip the band-aid, okay? The ego. The ego always wants to find what's wrong. The mind works that way. It always wants a story, okay? A villain, a victim. It says, if I can make them wrong, I get to be right. If I can call them narcissists, then I don't have to face my own pain. Maybe that's the story. I don't know. I'm just saying right now. The ego can mask itself in many different ways. But one thing is true though, and this is not just me saying it, it's also science. The ego always finds something that is wrong. But the ego is not the truth of who we are. That's another part to it, which is also very important to acknowledge. So let's talk about Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle has written a book called The Power of Now. Super powerful book. You should definitely read it if you feel called to do it. It's one of the first books I read, and it truly made me understand what the ego is. So if you're sitting here listening to this podcast and you're thinking, what's the ego? I don't really know. I truly, truly, truly tell you, buy that book, read that book, and be blown away. You're going to have so many aha moments, and you're going to laugh, and you're going to enjoy it. It's truly a life-changing book because it gives you so many new perspectives on life. But Eckhart Tolle teaches that the pain body, that emotional accumulation of old wounds, feeds on drama, on labels, on stories. When we call someone a narcissist again and again, sometimes it's the pain body speaking. It wants to stay alive. But our deepest self is beyond that. It's beyond that pain body. Presence dissolves the story. When I notice the urge to blame and instead bring back myself into the now, I see clearly. I truly, truly do. I see clearly that I am safe, I am here, and I am more than my story. The mind will always try to find what's wrong. But the heart, the soul, only asks, how can I return to love? So here's something I want you to reflect upon. Just ask yourself right now, when I feel the urge to blame, what am I avoiding myself? What am I avoiding feeling in myself? And what would happen if I paused and simply sat with my pain instead of labeling the other person? Oof. This is where transformation begins, my friend. This is where you truly grow. You know that really death to self, and you truly get reborn again? Oh, you will get reborn again when you sit with this. So I also want to take a little more spiritual lens upon this topic. And Eckhart reminds us that freedom is presence. When we identify with the story, for example, the story that they're a narcissist, I'm a victim, we're trapped in thought. We are. Let's be real. We are trapped in thought. It's only a thought, right? But when we become aware, when we sit in stillness, the story loses its grip. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. And in the present moment, blame dissolves. What's left is truth, clarity, and space to act. You know, I don't know if you know how many times a day we ask ourselves this, but you know what? When we ask, what time is it? And we look at the time and it's like, oh, it's 9 a.m. Is it 9 a.m. or is the time right now? I know we're going a little deeper here, off topic, but I just want you to see the deeper meaning of it. The time is always right now. Yes, we can say that the time and label it, it's 9 a.m. But what it truly is, it's just right now. That's all it is. So let's go into what Ram Dass says. And Ram Dass says we're all just walking each other home. That includes the ones we call narcissists. Even they our souls on a journey, sometimes armored by fear, wounded in their mind by their past. To see that doesn't mean we let them cross our boundaries, but it does mean we can hold them in compassion, recognizing their suffering without becoming entangled in it. He also spoke of fierce grace, love that is both soft and strong, compassionate and strong in boundaries. That's the medicine for both sides of this dynamic. And now to my favorite, Jesus. And Jesus, there's so much we can go into here because Jesus is so powerful. The wisdom that comes from Jesus is beyond what I can put into this whole episode. But Jesus said, "Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you." That's radical love. It's, again, my ego twisting within my body sometimes. Not blind tolerance of harm, no. But a love so deep, it refuses to let bitterness take root. Do you agree? This takes a certain amount of death to self in order to do this. It really has to come from within and transform your mind and truly to be of service to others, to truly walk in pure love, unconditional love. And we can do that. We truly can. When Jesus met the woman caught in adultery, he didn't label her. He said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." That's compassion paired with accountability. He always met people with truth. And truth is also love, okay? The ultimate truth is love. But he also met them with grace together. And that's the invitation for us too, to live in truth, quote unquote, love, but never lose sight of what's truly real. Again, love. Love is what's real. And I want to talk upon the pattern where we feel I'm attracting the same person again and again. They're just coming in different forms, right? Have you ever noticed that in your life? You leave one relationship and a few months later, the same type of energy shows up. And you think, why does this happen to me? I just left that. Why does it come back? I used to think that too, okay? But what if it's not just bad luck? What if it's an invitation? Because if we're going to be really honest, life is a mirror, okay? And that mirror is just going to reveal everything. It's going to reveal the truth. If the same lesson keeps showing up, maybe it's because my soul is asking me to grow, to finally say, no more. I will no longer abandon myself. I will rise above this story that I keep repeating in my head. And when you do, when you heal, when you honor your worth, when you walk in love, everything, and I'm telling you, everything shifts. I'm not saying that just to say that. I truly, truly mean it. Go back and listen to that again. When you heal, when you honor your worth, when you walk in love, everything shifts. Not only do you stop repeating the same story, but your light changes the field around you because you have a whole new vibration inside of you. The world is not going to respond to your thoughts. It's going to respond to your vibration, to your energy. Whatever you send out to the world, you're going to see and experience. You cannot see what you don't have within yourself. Even the ones you once called narcissists or victims can be touched by your transformation. Your healing is never just for you only. It's also ripples outward. Everybody around you is going to feel it. And that's the beauty of it. Think about your own life, okay? Do you notice repeating patterns in your relationships? If so, if you do, don't point at the other person now, because that's the whole thing here. We're going to point the finger inwards. What is the invitation hidden inside that pattern? What is life asking you to choose differently this time? Because let's be real, you have a story going on right now. That's the story we're trying to see here. That's the story that creates the same experience over and over and over again. You can have a different life. You can have a different story. But what do you choose? That's the real question here. So, if you're listening right now and you keep finding yourself in the same quote unquote painful cycles, maybe this is your wake-up call right here, right now. Because if you've been listening this far into the episode, something within you probably relates to what I'm speaking upon. Maybe you've tried different ways, but it's not working for you, and you feel called to go deeper. That's why I'm doing this episode. So you can, quote unquote, get out of the loop. Get out of the loop of blame and hurt and just repeat. Maybe you try that, right? And you're tired of it. And I'll just tell you this and keep this in your heart. Because for me, this has changed my life. When I truly understood this, but I also knew this in my heart. The hardest thing you can do is being someone you're not. It takes so much energy being someone you're not. Maybe you're drained, you're tired, you don't have any energy because you're living from that self, the ego. You think you are the ego, and you're stuck in the loop of pain and hurt and blame and this and that and yada, yada, yada. And you're so tired, right? Maybe ask yourself, maybe you're this tired because you're trying to be something you're not. And you feel that little spark within you of who you truly are, but the fear that comes out when you start to connect to that spark is extremely, extremely hard. Just saying, just throwing that out there. And you can just reflect upon that. So you can stay in the loop, blame, hurt, repeat, or you can rise, my friend. You can say, I choose to heal, I choose to grow, I choose love. Just like Jesus said, love thy neighbor as thyself. when you start to live from an essence, the being, the pure love energy of service, and truly use the gift that was given to you, you're gonna have a completely different life. Completely. That choice doesn't just set you free, it lights a path for others. Because when you shine, you remind everyone around you of their own light. Your healing gives permission for others to heal too. When you help yourself, you do not only help yourself, you help the whole world. And when you help someone, you automatically lift yourself. Yes. So let's take a moment to ground this, okay? Close your eyes and just breathe deeply, okay? I'm going to do a little exercise with you. So just open your mind, open your heart. Let's try a different way, okay? Bring to mind someone you've labeled anything really. A narcissist, a victim, you took my life, or whatever. Just bring that someone to mind. And it could even be yourself, to be honest. Notice the feelings. Maybe it's anger, sadness, that tightness. Maybe it's hate, resentment. Just allow yourself to feel. And place a hand over your heart and whisper, I see my pain. I honor my pain. Now imagine them, whoever you pictured in front of you. Now imagine them as a child. See kind of how they shift form and the little child is in front of you. See the fear. The wound that made them build the armor. The armor of whatever they said to you or said to the world. And say to them, I see your suffering. I see your suffering. I release you. I release myself. Say it as many times as you need to in this moment. I see your suffering. I release you. I release myself. Now stand up. You can keep your eyes closed. Just don't fall. And I want you to take a big posture, the proudest posture that you can. Chest out, shoulders wide, take a wide stance. Keep seeing that child. Keep seeing that person in front of you. And you say it again with your whole body this time. I see your suffering. I release you. I release myself. Let your whole body express that. One more time, you can do this. Maybe your hands out in the air, big gestures within your whole body. I see your suffering. I release you. I release myself. Good job. You are so brave. Keep your eyes closed. Hold that posture. Now, I want you to turn inward. Picture yourself as a child. And whatever age comes to you, trust it. That's God directing you in this moment. I want you to offer yourself the love you always longed for. See that little girl or that little boy, just see that child. Hug that child. And whisper to the child, I deserve respect. I deserve love. I am whole. I choose light. One more time. You deserve respect. You deserve love. You are whole. You choose light. Let compassion flow in all directions right now. Inward, outward, upward. And end by saying this within yourself. I am reborn in love. I am reborn in love. You are so brave in this moment. Thank you for stepping into your power. Thank you for stepping into love. Thank you for being that ripple of true healing and love in this moment. I admire your courage. I admire your love. Now take a few deep breaths in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth, and just shake your body. Shake your whole body in this moment. You are amazing. I want to pause here and say something from my heart to you, okay? I know this episode is going to ruffle some feathers. Some of what I've shared today may trigger you very deeply. Some of it may sound very unpopular in perspectives. I understand that. But I've had to sit myself down and get radically honest about my own patterns. And what I've come to understand is this. I don't grow as long as I'm giving my power away. As long as I blame someone else, as long as I say, because of this person, I am hurting, because of them, I am broken, because of them, I lost everything, you hurt me. What I'm really doing is handing them a power they never should have had over me in the first place. I don't know if you relate to this as deeply as I am saying it, but if you do, and I truly mean that, if you truly relate to that, that's been my wake-up call. And maybe that's your wake-up call right now as well. Maybe this is your wake-up call from God saying, hey, wake up! Wake up! You are so powerfully made in the image of God and in love. Stop being a victim. Stop giving your power away. Just don't. Just don't. And my prayer, I'm raising my hands above in the sky right now. My prayer is that you can hear that. You can hear this in love. This episode isn't about shaming or excusing. It's about helping you and me to take our power back. Because here's the truth. Nobody has the power except you. You always have the choice. You can give your power away. Blame them. Point the finger at them. Say because of this and that, what you said and what you did, I am now this. Like a little child. Or you can own your experiences, your love, your light. Live from a more righteous way of living, which is choosing love, choosing accountability, just like Jesus said. And when you own it, nobody, not even the people you've called narcissists or victims or whatever, can ever have that power over you again. Because you know what? I'm just gonna rip the band-aid so hard right now, and I'm just going to say it. When you're rooted in love, when you're rooted in God, in your truth of the essence of who you are, you don't give a S. Nothing will really trigger you. Nothing is going really to hurt. Because you're so rooted in love. You're so rooted in your essence. And yes, hurtful moments may come, but that's also your invitation to go deeper and fill that space with love. Love is the most powerful energy we have. It's everything that you are. It's everything that you're made of. So by owning love, you own yourself. You always have a choice. You always do. God gave you free will. You have the power to choose what you see, what you feel, and what you experience. You always have the choice. You can give your power away, or you can own your thoughts, which then creates your experiences and your feelings. And when you own it, nobody is going to have that power over you ever again. And that, my friend, that's how we break. And I want to say that word out loud. That's how we break the cycle. That's how we elevate and raise our vibration above the pain. Because in that moment, we choose something else. We no longer choose to repeat the same story. And when we stop repeating the story, we stop living inside it. Okay? I'm going to say that again. When we no longer choose to repeat the same story. And when we stop repeating the story, we stop living inside it. That's freedom. That's rebirth. That's when you're being reborn. Truly. My prayer is that this conversation hasn't minimized your pain at all. That's not at all what we are doing here, but has given you a new way to see it, for you to truly take that pain and transform it into power. You transform that pain into love. Okay? Eckhart, as we spoke upon today, teaches us presence. Ram Dass teaches us compassion. Powerful authors who's been speaking upon this. But also, the most deepest one out of everyone, Jesus teaches us unconditional love. Love never has conditions. We put the conditions on love. Love does not do that. And we have to own that. We have to take accountability for that. That's how we truly free ourselves. The more conditions you believe love is, the more conditions you have upon your true self, but also upon God. And together, we need to remind ourselves this. The way out of the victim story is not more blame. That's basically you putting negativity already on the negativity. Let's not do that. The way out of it is presence. It's compassion and love. Vowing with accountability. Accountability is so important because that's also how we change. We cannot change anything we're not ready to admit for ourselves. So, right now, okay, if you're in a season where you're calling people narcissists, and that for you feels it's the only way to explain your pain, I understand. I've been there. But I also know this, and this is my invitation to you, okay? It's just an invitation for you to look at things differently. You can take it and you cannot. The choice is yours. I love you as my divine sister and divine brother. Freedom for me came when I asked myself this. What is mine to own? Right here. How can I shine anyway? Because you know what? Your light matters. Your healing matters. When you rise, you don't rise alone. You lift the whole world with you. Because we're all one. We truly, truly are. I really love you. I want you also to see the light within yourself. Thank you for being here, for choosing love, for choosing to listen throughout this whole episode. And I pray and I truly hope from my heart to yours that this episode truly transformed you today. And for you to be reborn again and again and again. Choose love. Choose accountability. And choose to own your power. Because all that God is calling you to do right now is just to own your power. Be the light you wish to see in the world. And that sometimes is easier said than done. But when we choose to repeat and do it over and over and over and over again, it becomes easy. Until next time, beautiful soul, keep walking in light, in love, and in your reborn self. I love you. Until next time.